2019 was a great year for video games. Outstanding titles, mostly from Capcom, came out throughout the year, and I'm here to tell you what my favorite games were throughout the year. I won't be labeling them in the traditional listing format, as I believe all these games deserve to be number one and would highly recommend it to anyone. Some of these games did come out on PC earlier, but they did release on console this year, so that's why I'll be including them on the list. Capcom came out swinging this year. Resident Evil 2 2019 not only retold this legendary tale while altering the franchise's lore, but gave newcomers the chance to experience one of the most iconic tales in video games, with Claire and Leon trying to survive the Raccoon City incident, with players able to experience both campaigns as either Leon or Claire, and best of all, they kept the crocodile boss. After years of asking and waiting, Capcom finally released Devil May Cry 5 this year. It's basically the same formula from other Devil May Cry games, which is exactly what fans wanted. Over-the-top action, fantastic bosses, and lots of insane combos to perform, showing that if it ain't broken, don't fix it, and the DMC formula is still as strong as ever. Yes, it's another Capcom game, and yes, it's technically an expansion, but dear God, Monster Hunter World Iceborne is one of the best expansions I have ever played. The original Monster Hunter World was already 40 hours long, and that's only if you counted the core campaign, and that's not including the new monsters that were added, but Iceborne is more than what fans could ever have hoped for, with a new area to explore, lots of new monsters to fight, new hardened variants of existing monsters added to an endgame area, and brand new sets of armor and weapons to collect. Capcom has gone above and beyond for their fan base, and it shows. They've delivered 3 of the best games of 2019, and they have quickly become one of my favorite companies of all time. I'm not a fan of overly text-based games, but Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender action actually clicked for me. I started mixing drinks and thinking, man, this game is boring. But then I started to engage with the customers and then harsh opinions started to change. I became engrossed with the clients and the protagonist Jill as their lives started to become more apparent, building the outside cyberpunk world through their worlds without ever seeing it. Each one conveying their own problems, desires, and habits to Jill, who in herself is another character within this story, allowing you to shift the narrative based on how you choose to mix their drinks. It's definitely a game that you have to dedicate yourself to as you learn about the characters, and there is a lot of reading. However, the game's writing and character design is so strong that I would definitely recommend it to anyone who likes really strong narrative experiences. I'm a huge fan of Remedy Entertainment's work. Alan Wake and Max Payne are some of my favorite games I've ever played, and Control is now among them, with players literally walking into a supernatural house of horrors, teeming with objects that can change reality and bring the stuff of nightmares into our world. As you explore the oldest house, Jesse Faradin will have to take on the role of the director in hopes of finding out why this organization took her brother and fight a new threat that can destroy the world if it escapes the oldest house. It's a Metroidvania title, but the strong mechanics, surreal experience, and lots of optional content easily make this one of the best games this year and something I can't recommend enough. If you ever want to know what a video game on cocaine was like, you should play Astral Chain. This insane title has you literally enslaving beings called chimeras from another dimension to fight other chimera from the same dimension that intend to destroy humanity. And what are you? A specialized cop from an organization called Neuron that happens to be the chosen one and is the last hope for humanity. The story isn't that great, but the action and the boss fights are simply insane, with a presentation and musical score that constantly keeps you on high alert. I mean, if this doesn't get you hyped for a boss encounter, nothing will. Perhaps the most fun I've had this year was playing Luigi's Mansion 3. Fighting your way through the haunted hotel to save Mario, Peach, and the Toads was a simply extraordinary journey full of unique boss encounters and cleverly designed levels. The animation alone is one of the best I've seen all year as Luigi cautiously explores the hotel in search of his family and friends and shouts in joy when accomplishing his goals. This is an utterly charming game, and surprisingly, the multiplayer has been much more fleshed out than in Dark Moon. You can literally dedicate hours to this mode and just have a blast. So those are my favorite games from 2019. Tell me yours in the comments below. Also tell me why my opinion is wrong. I love reading comments like that. Until next time everyone, stay awesome.
Got it.